I'm just like, I have tattoos on my face, ripped jeans, and a hat on. Like, I am not getting this listing. I was the professional. They asked me to drop my commission. I said, no, I don't do that. And they're like, well, we have a guy at 3.5%. You're at 6%. And I said, yeah, because I work for a 6%. I said, if someone's willing to drop their commission with you at a kitchen table, I said, what do you think is going to happen when I make an offer on this home? I said, I'm going to eat that dude alive, and I'm going to cost you more money. Like, if you can't negotiate your value, then how are you going to negotiate to me? Because I'm a bulldog. I'll rip through you.
Hey guys, I got a special guest with me today, Justin Mercer with eXp Realty. He's one of the top agents in the company right now. He's called the Tattoo Realtor. Justin, it's so great to have you. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Appreciate you, Justin. Been in the industry almost 4 years, so haven't hit the 4 years yet. But before that, I was a truck driver. So I drove a semi for 13 years. Before that, I was a teacher for like 3 years, did some acting in LA. But I kind of joined the industry out of nowhere. It's something I always wanted to do. I was just afraid to take a chance and do it. Got to the point where I was literally probably at the worst point of my life. Didn't want to be here anymore. And I'd always wanted to do real estate, but I never thought I could because of my look. And it was so bad to the point where I was just like, you know what? It can't get worse. So even if I fail at it, at least it can't get worse. So I came in the industry not knowing what was going to happen. I was hoping to maybe sell 5 houses my first year. And I never thought this thing would take off. I never thought I'd be anything. Never thought. So all this stuff is new.
What'd you do the first year? Well, what'd you do the first year then?
23 that first year. And then ended up doing 43.
23. Wait, hold on. Wait. 23 houses your first year as a realtor when you had no experience or anything. How much dollars, commission wise, does that amount to?
I made 100. So after all the splits and everything, I made about 170 grand my first year. And I had destroyed my life making 60 grand a year. So like to make 170 grand is more money than anyone in my family's ever made in their life. So
dude, that is incredible. To make that much money in your first year as a realtor, that's like unheard of, like literally unheard of. You're probably like in the top like 0.1% of realtors of all time that's ever made that much money in their first year. So how the hell did you do that?
To be honest, like it started because I had been licensed and I was still working 60 hours a week at my other job. It was something that job tore me down. It ruined my life. It ruined 2 marriages. It ruined my mental, physical health. It broke me down to the point where I didn't want to be around anymore. Like I was gonna off myself, and just because I just couldn't stand anymore. And to me, I was like, no one else is gonna hire me. Like it's just like I'm unhireable, even though I'm the best worker. Like when I was a teacher, I was every teacher's favorite teacher. I was every kid's favorite teacher. When I was the truck driver, I was the top in the company. But to me, I thought nobody else would hire me just because of my look. They would never give me a chance. So it was me holding myself back for so long. When I joined real estate, I was still doing that. And then I had all this traction because the news did a story about me because one of the top realtors in the Valley made fun of me. And it ended up being viral. And they did a news story on me. So I was gaining this traction of what I was doing, but I had zero business. So, and then February 2020, I quit my job I had for 13 years, went into real estate full time, had nothing in the pipeline, nothing closed, nothing going for me. I didn't know anything about real estate, knew nothing about business, marketing, social media, branding. I knew nothing. And ended up going from, and then March 2020, what happened? COVID hit. So now I'm just like in this field where I'm just like, I don't know anything. I got 2 kids I got to support. And I went from having nothing in the pipeline to closing 2 million in sales the next month, all from social media. So social media has been a big part of my business.
It sounds like a huge part. So I'm always a big, supporter of finding one niche, sticking to that, mastering that, learning that, and then running with that. And that's what you did with social media, it sounds like. So what separates you from other people using or other agents using social media?
So it's different now. But when I first started in March 2020, what set me apart was I was doing everything nobody was doing. So everything I was doing marketing wise with the videos, I was just going for laughs. Like I was just trying to make the most boring field in the industry like interesting. And I think if too many agents think like agents, they don't think like consumers. And that's something I feel I really do better than any agent out there is I really put my position as a consumer before anything. So I had bought 2 houses and sold 2 houses before I even thought about doing real estate. So what was in my mind at the time? What was I thinking about? And I took myself into the position of when I bought a home. So when I bought a home, I went back to my Facebook. So now I'm an agent. I went back to my Facebook when I bought a home at all the agents I knew. So here I am having a social media. I knew 8 agents at the time. So I was like, why didn't I use them? You know who I used? The hot girl at the gym.
Okay. All right. Hitting on somebody, getting a house there at the same time.
Dude, it sticks out to some people. Like you never know what sticks out to some people. Like she was at the gym. She always wore a shirt. I wanted to start a conversation with her. And that's where I got led to. Now being in the industry, I look back at her numbers. She sold 2 houses that year. Like, it's not that she didn't know what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. She was very smart, but if she would have told me that before, I would have been reluctant to use her, because it's the biggest
True.
transaction in my life. So, and then
True.
like
And then
when I go to,
everybody's life. Yeah.
yeah, if I go to a restaurant that steaks $140, I don't go back in the kitchen and ask the chef his credentials. I just assume it's going to work. So I took that same approach into real estate where I'm just putting myself in a consumer's shoe, and I was just going to get my foot in the door. If I can get enough around me to start a conversation, I can now earn their business. So everything I was doing on social media was just to get a laugh and a share. That's it. It wasn't to show my knowledge. It wasn't to pitch interest rates. It wasn't to show the opportunities in the market. It's just to go for a laugh and a share button. And I think,
So well, take us through one of your first videos. Like, what did you like literally do? Like step by step. Like, what did you film?
so the very first video I ever did was, it was an R. Kelly song that I played on my phone, and I had a
Oh,
lender. So I used to make memes and do funny videos before real estate, and I got a lot of laughs from my own people, like my own sphere. I did a clothing company for a little bit, and I made comedic shirts that had got on like big screens at the football games and stuff like that. Like I had an OJ shirt
wow.
that went viral. So I'd always been good at like creating a laugh and creating some kind of like just being witty about certain things. So the very first thing I did was, it was like me stealing a client at an open house, and people were like, "Oh, you can't steal." I'm like, "I'm not stealing a
Ooh.
client. It's a fucking skit video. Like, relax."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I played an R.
The
Kelly song.
controversy is good.
Yeah, it's called "Keep It on the Down Low," and I just had it playing on the phone, and the lender was like filming me, like doing it. He's all shaky. It was such a bad video, but so many people found it entertaining. They're like laughing at it. So when I quit my job and was going to actually like take this very seriously and be like super focused on video, the very first video I did, I was in an open house. I announced an open house, but I was in a hot tub in a full suit with a glass of wine, and I got in the hot tub, and I was at a
Oh,
$3 million mansion, and I pretended like it was a Tinder video. So I was like, "Ladies, do you love rich men with beautiful houses? Swipe right." And the girl was like, "No,
what the hell?
this is for your open house, not for your Tinder." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I introduced the open house. But the
Oh
point
my
is, I
God.
had that open house flooded with people all weekend. I had about 90 DMs a day of people saying, "Dude, that's your listing? Like, how did you get that listing? How did you?" It wasn't mine, but I wasn't sitting there saying it's not my listing. It was, "Hey, do you got a buyer? Come bring me a buyer. Oh, you looking to buy? Come buy." And that showed something to me, that people like were reaching out to me. And then the next week I did a $900,000 mansion. The next week I did an $800,000, and all these people are now like, "Justin, I think you're serious. I really didn't think you were really doing this. Like your brand, like I didn't think you were being serious about it. How did you get these listings? How are you getting the business?" And just
Yeah.
it snowballed out of control to the point where I closed $2 million the next month, having nothing in the pipeline. So it showed
But these weren't your listings, right? Like these were not your listings.
no, but I also didn't
So
tell
like,
them. And too many agents, the
but,
agents were like, "Well, it's not your listing." I'm like, "Okay, like
but
what's
it
your
doesn't
point?"
matter. Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be your listing.
like
Yeah, it
you're
doesn't
not
have
in
to be. It's
my
like,
house with me.
so where did you find these listings from? I'm guessing just the MLS, and then you just did a show and you said you had a buyer.
Yeah, but I was getting some traction on social media from the news story. So the people that $3 million mansion, they had asked me, they're like, "Dude, do you want to do one? Like, we need the promotion, and you're getting a
Oh,
lot of views on Facebook right now."
wow.
Because even that R. Kelly video, it got a bunch of views, but it was shot very poorly. It was not like thought out. And when I did that open house one, it had over 35,000 views on Facebook, and then it had like
Damn.
300 shares. And this is an open house video. Like, this is not something that's
Yeah.
viral. It's not related to any content that can go viral. It's just a stupid open house real estate video. But it showed me the entertainment and comedic factor of it is what drove people to hit the share button. So I figured out pretty early on that the most powerful marketing tool anyone will ever have would be a share button. Like, that is the most powerful marketing tool in the game.
So do you think a lot of agents right now are not utilizing social media good enough? Because even before you just said this worked in 2020, but not now. So what did you mean by that exactly?
Uh, because I think too many people caught on to this bandwagon, like Instagram reel thing, where they
Oh,
think real estate is a viral topic. They think real estate's interesting. They think it's cool, and it's not in an
mm,
average
mm.
person's view. So I
Nah.
did this event where it was a social media panel with the top experts in the game, and I was on it. And I don't even call myself an expert, but I say, here's what
Who's on the
happened.
panel? I'm curious. I'm curious. Who's on the
Like
panel?
a Facebook exec, like they used to work for Facebook. There was an Instagram person there, and then two people that run social medias for top teams. And
Okay.
basically, it came down to me at the end, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to step on a lot of toes, but to me, I'm like that average agent. Like, you guys are going for like a Ryan Serhant type feel, and not everybody is that. I'm like, the average
Yeah.
agent has 500 followers maybe on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, when you're teaching them to make videos about the market, and you're teaching, making videos about earnest money and this and that. I'm like, how many people on your social media right now, 500 people, are actively buying or selling a home? Less than a percent, maybe 5.
Probably.
So you're going to push this content that's going to get drowned out by an algorithm for Instagram.
Yeah.
So they're trying to teach them to post this content that go viral. And in my eyes, I'm like, it's going to ruin your own page, because if your watch time drops below 20%, your video is getting drowned out. Like, if someone's not going to stay in the video, they're not going to be on the Instagram algorithm. So now you're creating this money about earnest money. None of your family's going to tune in because they're probably not buying right now. None of your agents are going to tune in because they already know what earnest money is. So like I have a video that I thought was super funny, and 50% of people come off it towards the end. And this is a very purposely made entertainment video. So if I went in there just talking, boring people's ears off for 2 minutes, I think would have got drowned out. So
you did like the Pope in the pool technique.
Huh? What was that?
You did like the Pope in the pool technique, basically. You ever heard of the Pope? Famous Hollywood Pope in the pool. It's basically when you're talking about something really boring, you do like, all right, I think it was from a movie or something, and there was a Pope that was talking about, some religion kind of stuff, but he was in a pool, and kind of what you did. He was all dressed up in his garbs and everything, and he was just talking about the information that they wanted to hear, which was normally would have been boring, but he did it in a pool, and it was like a funny, scene and stuff, and that's the Pope in the pool technique, and you did that, but you never even heard. You just created that yourself, but that's a real thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I proved a point later on, because everyone was making these talking head videos where, so I got something in my throat, where it's like them with their head, and they have the keywords on the bottom that, or the captions that pop up, and everyone's telling their value, and here's what I do, and they're trying to be coaches on the internet, right? And I told everyone, like, the regular person's not paying attention, because I go to these pages with people that are credible, that have the credibility, they're very smart, and their view count's low. Not because they're boring, because most people aren't staying in tune with that. So I showed them, I said, watch, I'm going to do a marketing tip video, and I'm going to blow everyone out of the water. I've never done a talking head video before. I said, but watch how I do it to prove my point, right? And it was that one where that girl slaps her legs together and the water shoots out, and it was a marketing tip. And I used this big lady in the pool, and that's how it started. And she slammed her thighs together, shot water out. Then it cuts to me getting splashed by water. And then I give my marketing tip. And then she does it 10 seconds later so I can keep them back in the video. And that video got 56,000 views in my first one. And I've never done one before. So I was just showing them, you have to figure out a way to make it entertaining and to keep them on the video. So
you're literally doing that exact technique, and you never even heard about it. You created it. That's what's like so crazy about this whole thing. Like, you're doing what is like recommended, like, for Hollywood producers, and you just created this on your own. So wait a minute. So hold on, because my Instagram page, right? Like, I just got into social media a few months ago and everything. I'm sure you could tear this thing apart, because I'm not doing any of that stuff yet, and I'm only getting like 2,000 views, 1,500 views. You could probably tell me some tips, which would also, for everybody watching right now, they're probably doing the same shit as me, and it's not working like yours is working. So actually, can you do this really quick for me?
Yeah.
Can you pull up my Instagram, watch one of my last videos, and then critique the shit out of it?
Oh, well, here's the thing. First, before I do that, I'll have videos and people will be like, oh, that didn't do as well as you thought. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, we only got 3,500, 4,000 views. I'm like, it's a real estate related video. I said, what don't you guys get? This is a real estate video. Like, this is not supposed to get views. It's not supposed to be entertaining. It's not. Real estate's not an entertaining subject. It's not like they're creating viral content like the Island Boys or these like Jake Paul and these guys. Like, it's just a real estate topic. That's what they don't get.
Yeah.
And even like you said, it's tear the video apart. If you have 1,500 views, those might be purposeful views. And that's the great thing about, we were talking about YouTube. You can have a YouTube and you can have a video that's 100 views, and you can have a video that has 4,000. The people that are on the 100 views, those are purposeful views. They had sought out something in those keywords that made them click on your video. So even when you have your videos and you're talking about real estate, I'm not telling them not to do it. I'm telling them to stop going for this viral factor that you think everything you're doing is bad, and it's not. It's the consistency behind it and staying top of the mind that's going to matter. People are using social media as something to try to go viral and get and create leads. In reality, all I'm telling them to do is be hyper consistent and stay top of mind, because you're going to lose the people if you don't. Like, I have people that have talked to other agents because I wasn't as active as I used to be. So I don't
now. You're not that active now?
Yeah, even now, like I had 7 people list with other people, and it backfired because now I'm posting this content where I'm walking through homes, I'm flipping homes, I'm going to $1 million mansions, I'm talking on stages, and they just don't want to bother me now. They're like, "Hey, I didn't want to bug you. You're busy." So it's a hit or
Oh.
miss no matter what you do.
This is interesting actually. So yeah, I mean we'll go to my Instagram video a little bit later because I have a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
questions actually that you just passed. We'll do it a little bit later though. I mean, you can pull a page of stuff.
Okay.
But what I want to know is so now you just brought up a good point. What did you start doing for the past couple years then? Because since it was working, and then you said it stopped working. So like take me through your last year then. Like what happened last year? Like because I know how much did you make your second year? You said you made because we were chatting before this. You were making what, like $500,000 last year? Or I mean 2 years ago?
400. Second year I made 400.
400,000. So you made 170 first year, 400,000 second year, and then third year, I know you said things went south.
I don't even know, to be honest. I started a team. I started an investment business. I bought my own office. I still haven't done my taxes. So like,
do those fast,
yeah,
do those quickly. Don't fuck with the IRS, man. Do
I
not.
honestly don't know, but I'm very open with my business, the wins and the losses, because I think it's very
Yeah,
important to not share the glitz and glamour and say I'm so terrific at this, because there's a lot of stuff I don't do well. And
dude, that's what I
I think
hated about. I'll tell you real quick. I hated social media for years because everybody I thought was phony on there. They were just showing the wins, just the good stuff, but none of the bad stuff. So it was like a fake persona. So I love what you just said, that you show everything.
I think social media is a double-edged sword. So I think too many people come in the industry because they're going to social media prospect, and their social media prospecting is just posting reels, pointing at words. Remember that thing was a trend where they're just pointing at words. Then they're doing all this content that's not like related, like it's related to social. It's not going to go viral because it's not an interesting topic. Maybe one out of every
Yeah,
billion that were posted would go viral. But people just
yeah,
have these wrong expectations of social media. Like it's a prospecting tool, regardless. Like if you're not prospecting, what's prospecting? Like if prospecting is cold calling, you're picking up the phone every day, all day, calling cold leads, trying to convert them to buyers or sellers. If you're not doing that on social media and you're just posting videos, it's not prospecting. You're just setting a trap to, like, there's hunting and there's trap setting. I think the hunting is the door knocking, the open houses, the cold calling, the lead generation, and hunting is the social media, is the marketing, the branding. Those can create leads, but you never know when. Like YouTube, great for leads. You never know when they're going to come. You can't open up your computer tomorrow and say, I know I'll get 3 leads today. But
no,
you can randomly post a video next Friday and get 3 sellers out of nowhere. So it's something that has the ability to
yeah.
get you business, but you can't create KPIs behind it. I
So you
think
don't recommend people just use social media for lead generation. You think like when you were doing it, I mean, what, like you weren't just using social media. What else were you using?
I was just using social media. That's the point. Like
Oh,
I
you
had
were.
like
Oh shit.
75% of my business came from it. So I thought I was so good at it and it was working. But what happens when the market turns? Like it's not as
Like it
like
did last
fluid
year.
anymore. Yeah, the
Yeah.
rates went from 3s to 5s to 6s, and now everyone takes a halt, right? I didn't have a pipeline. I didn't have a CRM. I didn't have anything. So I was doing real estate the wrong way for the first 3 years of my career. Um,
Wow.
and that's why I had 7 people list without me, is because I wasn't contacting them with 30 touches a year. I was dropping off pies at their doorstep for Christmas, but in my mind, like I don't know the business. Keep in mind, like I told everyone, I don't know real estate. I don't know marketing or
Yeah.
branding. So I'm still learning. So I thought when I sold somebody home, I didn't want to bother them again. And in my mind, I was
Yeah.
just bothering them. They have a family, and I didn't want to call them every quarter to check in because I didn't want to bug them. And you find out it's the wrong way of thinking. Like these people,
You
all
gotta be
these,
top of mind.
yeah. Plus, they brought you into their family. You helped them out in investment. Maybe they want to hear from you. So these people that were listing without me, they didn't want to bother me. I'm like, no, that's not, like, I'll help you, because they're like, I have a $300,000 house. I didn't want to bug you. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Bug me? Like I
Right.
want you.
There's a
Yeah,
$7,000 commission for 5 hours of work. Not a bug at all.
yeah. And
Wait
I
a
have a
minute. So
CRM.
now you must have a CRM now, right?
Now I just started like 6 months ago. So I say it's a
Good.
double-edged sword because there's people that have been in real estate for 20, 30, 40 years. They didn't have social media. Like they didn't have this stuff, and they've still been in the
That's true.
business killing it. It's because they have a pipeline, they have a database, and they have like the right way of doing business. So I think there's too many people, coaches, social media experts, everyone out here trying to show agents that they can build a prospecting based career off of just social media. And I'm like, no, you can't. Like that is so hard
Wow.
to do. That's why there's an 85% fail rate. Is because the people that have been in the industry forever and have a viable business have done it the right way. and that's with building a
Yeah.
database, prospecting daily. So as
You're,
much wins as
you're
I have, I do have losses.
Well, you're 100% correct on that. Listen, so that's what I actually joined the same time as you, right around December of 2019, and we got into the pandemic together, basically same time, right? And it was a bad time to be a brand new agent because couldn't get listings, didn't have the experience for buyers. It was really really tough at that point. I went into rentals. I don't even know if I
Yeah, we
told you this
talked a
yet,
little
but
bit about
I
it.
we did talk about this a little bit. But yeah,
Mhm.
I did about 50, 60 deals my first year, and then next year I did about 180 deals. Next year after that, I did 250, but they're mainly rentals, maybe like 5 to 10 house sales, right? But I did hit 500,000 after my second year doing rentals. And what you said is so true because I pivoted. I knew couldn't get the buyers, couldn't get the sellers. What was I going to do? I was like, all right, let me try this rental thing, right? And it worked so well. But you know why it worked well? It worked so well because I never stopped lead generation. Literally kept doing lead generation every single day. Not my first year, because my first year I made some mistakes. But
Mhm.
second year I started doing that, and then third year I was like really doing that. Like I was really focused on lead generation. And if you don't stop generating leads every day, your business will keep growing. If you do stop, your
Yeah.
business might get stagnant, it might go down. But if you keep going every day and keep getting back to people, following up people, CRMs, keep generating new leads, your business will keep going up and up and up and up and up. It does not have to ever stop.
Yeah, that's we do a text thing now, so we're adding about 40 people to a database a day through text leads. We're
Whoa.
sending out 50,000 a month.
Whoa.
And it's not all people that are willing to buy now, but too many people are just
They
going for
will.
instant gratification. That's what too
Yeah,
many
you're
agents go for.
you're thinking long term, which is
Yeah, long term.
exactly what you want to
Yeah,
do. It's
building a
literally
lifestyle.
exactly what CRM were you using right now for this?
Um, I'll go high level now. So
Go
we
high
don't use
level.
go high
Ooh.
level is something we started and we're tweaking and we're trying to perfect, and we eventually want to sell it to
Well,
agents
dude,
because now. Oh, go ahead.
dude, I got to talk to you afterwards because I got a
Yeah,
CRM which is basically all, not basically, literally doing exactly what you want to do. So we'll chat afterwards. I don't want to do it right now, but we'll
yeah,
chat afterwards a little bit because I have a CRM that's literally doing exactly what you want to do in the future. So we'll chat a little bit afterwards. And anybody watching right now too, if you want something like that, that's literally specifically generated for real estate agents with AI and everything, and text messaging, automatic AI text messaging, all that stuff. Email me. My emails are going to be in the description. But yeah, so anyways, the CRM I'm sure is helping up a lot right now. Like
yeah.
you're probably getting a lot more leads now because last year, I think you told me you lost money last year. It's what you told me.
Well,
So like,
yeah,
what,
I started a team and got an office space. Like, so we have our own office, and I started a team literally as the market turned. I had a flip that I bought when it was a 3% interest rate. I bought it and I closed on it the day after I closed, or the day before I was supposed to close on it. All the hedge funds uh, no longer are buying homes. I had this sold to a hedge fund, and I was going to make 40 crack off of it. Ended up flipping it because I owned it now and lost money on that. So it was a tough year as far as like, but here's another thing for agents out there, like you're going to experience it. And I went from having the high highs to the low lows. Like I was like depressed and I was like, this is the actual business. I failed. And to me, I was like, I put myself on this platform now. Even if I fail 10 times harder because everyone expected me to. And it really
yeah.
scared me into the point where I was hiding it from everybody. And that was tearing me apart and putting me back into
Ooh.
depression that I was trying to escape from. And after talking to all these top agents like Jason Mitchell, I had an hour and a half meeting with him. He runs the top team in the world. He's the top team in the world. He brought me to his office, showed me what they did. And he was telling me about when he claimed bankruptcy. And I talked to another agent that has a $100 million business. And she's like, oh my God, I failed 3 times. I claimed bankruptcy. I was eating soup. I lost my cars, my houses, my rental. And I was just like blown away by all these people that I look up to and hearing them fail. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize like how many people have
Oh yeah.
experienced exactly what I'm feeling. And the next day I went from being depressed to like just being motivated and driven. I'm like, you're right, dude. If this fails tomorrow, like worst case scenario, if everything crumbles and my team fails and I'm back to square one, I know the blueprint. I know what to do. I
You
know how
could
to
do it
get it
again.
back. Yeah.
You believe in yourself. Listen,
Yeah.
that's what success is. It's not how you handle the wins because you're going to win sometimes, but you're going to fail so much more.
Yeah.
You're going to have so many more failures and problems and issues and everything. And that's what successful people really understand is how you show up when you fail. You're not going to tuck your tail, bury your head in the sand. I mean, you're still here today. And I think that's what's the most important thing about success is handling your failures really, really well, because it's not all going to be sunshine and roses as you found out, you were going up, 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 and up. But then when something bad happened, you had to like pivot basically and then, reorganize. So like, what did that look like for you when you did?
So we moved into Ohio. We do novations now. Like the market's very tough here, and Arizona specifically, we have 70,000 agents. Like it is very saturated
Whoa,
here. And in here, like
7K.
5% of the agents do 95% of the business in Arizona. And
Yeah.
there's just so
Yeah.
many part-time people. But it's so saturated that we got out of Arizona a little bit and we started doing investments in Ohio, and we're doing novations out there. So we just shifted our mindset as far as like retail is going to be slow. Let's go heavy into our investment side. And that's what we did. So we teach agents not just to do retail, how to do retail, how to make themselves wealthy with investments, and how to actually run investment and creative financing side. So now we buy homes nationwide cash. We help agents. Like I help
Wait,
agents.
what you just said? You just said something cool. Creative financing. Hold on. Talk about this a little bit, because creative financing. So are you talking about like subject to, that kind of stuff?
Wraps, lease options, subject to, like there's houses that were trashed and the owner wanted to make money. They didn't want to list because this, and I literally just charged more commission, did all the work for them, and then sold it with them. So like, there's just ways. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm a problem solver. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna solve it. So when I go to listing presentations, I ask the hard questions that no one asks. I will look at a seller and say, what are you gonna do with the money when this sells? And it's such a jarring question. Like, I'm like, well, what are you gonna do with the money? Like, do you even need to sell it? Like, can you keep this? Like, the point of real estate is to keep the property. And we got to knock, like, I think the word investor turns people off. And I think it's a gray area in real estate, and it's more of a negative connotation to somebody than a positive. And it's because there's a lot of bad investors out there, and we're not supposed to give financial advice. But isn't listing a home for 6% financial advice? Isn't me telling someone I'm going to list your home financial advice? Like, is that the best option for them? It's just the option they know. That's it. They're calling people because they just assume everyone sells a house this way, but because they don't have the education behind it. So when I go in there and I say, what's the problem? First of all is, what is the problem that needs to be solved? Why are you moving? Oh, we're having a baby. We need a bigger home. Cool. That's a listing. Like, that is a listing. Like, here's probably the best way to make the money. What if it's, I'm going for foreclosure? What do you mean foreclosure? Oh, well, they gave me a letter. That's not foreclosure. Like, people don't know. Like, they just assume I think I have to sell my house because I got a foreclosure letter. No, this is just saying you're gonna go into foreclosure. You're probably gonna get hit up now by agents.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot.
I've helped people out of foreclosures, like saving from foreclosure. I go in there and say, they're like, oh, my mom's dying. I gotta move to Florida tomorrow. Okay, cool. Like, this thing's gonna sit. Like, if you want this at this price and it's in this condition, it's gonna sit. You're putting yourself in a bad position sometimes selling a home. So like, what would work out?
How did you sell? How did you help? How do you help people out of foreclosures? I'm sure everybody would love to hear that, because that's a big thing that's about to start happening a lot of right now. Like, I'm anticipating a lot of foreclosures coming out. I'm anticipating a light recession. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm thinking the market's going to crash. I even know the day I think when the market's going to kind of be at the bottom. But how do you help people out of foreclosures?
So A, you can call the bank and get it extended out. B, find out how much is owed and see if there's any way they can take money out of their own house to pay like what's owed. 3, like
the equity from their home.
Yeah, like I could buy their home. I could buy their home, charge them rent, and they can buy it back from me in a year. Like, why not? Like, I'll pay all this stuff off. I'll buy your house for you. I'll create this lease, and I'll let you rent your own home from me. And in 2 years, whatever the balloon payment is, like, if you cannot buy your own home back, I will buy it for this price. But the goal is to have you buy your own home back from me for a small fee.
Wait, so you don't actually purchase it. You do, what do you do then? Because you don't actually buy it.
Seller finance.
Seller finance. Okay. So that's literally subject to, which is incredible. Because like, I'm sure Pace Morby.
Yeah. But like, subject to, it's kind of a gray area for me being licensed, because if I do a subject to, they can't force me, like, they can't foreclose on me. So doing a wrap option allows them to just still foreclose on their own property. So I think that's a better option for most seller finances, especially if you're working with them, because I'll never create a business off of making one deal off their home. Like, I want these people to know they were taken care of, they were looked out for, and they're going to tell all their friends and family like what I did for them. So I don't put these people in these positions to like screw them over. It's to create referrals. I'm like, hey, what's the problem? Because there's tons of ways I can maybe solve this problem. And when I do solve it, I'm
Wow.
not doing it for a dollar amount. I'm doing it. I'm going to make a profit, but I don't need to crack these people in their own home. Like, I need to
Wow.
help them out of their situation. They're good people that want their house and they want to be homeowners. They just don't know the possibilities behind it. Like, people don't know creative financing. They don't know mortgages. They don't know foreclosures. You have to educate these people. And too many agents are going in there and saying, let's list your home. Like, the court date's in 30 days. They can't list the home. What happens if they don't sell it? Now you're putting in a horrible position. And
Oh yeah.
I have a beef with some of these people that do courses online that teach people how to wholesale. Like, you're teaching people how to wholesale that don't know anything about the industry. So you're teaching them to go rack up these homes, put them in a contract, then go try to sell the contract. What happens if they don't fucking sell it? They're going to back out of the contract. What happens if that person's in a foreclosure and now you back out of the contract because you bought it too high and can't sell it? They now lost.
I always got a funny feeling about wholesaling, man. That's something that didn't sit right with me there about wholesaling.
There's so many regulations on us as agents and not enough on these people that aren't licensed that are creating these courses teaching regular ass people how to wrap up people in these contracts that they cannot perform on. And it's sick.
And most of them have never even done it before. You know what I mean? Like, or have done it a couple times. They have no credibility, and it's a scam. You know, that's what I think. That's why all these agents got, or all these people got bad raps on it because they're going in there and doing something with no credibility, no previous experience. They're just trying to make a fast buck. They make their money off the course. That's what they're making their money on. I think it's very scary. That whole thing is very, very scary. That's why I was so, for me, like, social media, I was just so like unsure, to get into it and everything because of all that going on, but once I did, I'm like, oh my God, like, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Like, this is how you really scale a business, is getting on social media. And you kind of learn that at like the highest level, as a brand new agent. So like, what do you think is, going forward, then you're going to start doing differently? Because is this working what you're doing now?
Yeah, it's a really tough market right now. And I think people are too down on themselves, and you have to understand this business is like, if you want the wins, you have to be okay with the losses, and you have to figure out how to skate through these tough times. Like, I prepped my team for it last week. I said, hey, I know it's hard, but we need to create as many conversations as we can to get as many listings as we can, because I feel like these interest rates are going to be high until March. Like, do we have a way to sleep through like 6 months? I'm like, if you can't just ride through, like, you're not going to be rich in these next 3-4 months. You've got to get that through your head first. You're not going to create this huge wealth out of nowhere.
Here's the thing. So it is still possible, because listen, I'll even give you my quick little backstory. I made $500K last year. This year, I'm going to make $750 to $1 million. Okay. And I've only been doing real estate the same amount of time as you. So there are other ways and possibilities to make money now as a real estate agent.
Person.
For the average person, it's tough. Yeah. But I'm saying though, there's ways, to pivot. And I mean, honestly, mainly it's literally, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, one of the biggest, as you're finding out, the biggest way right now is rentals, because if nobody's buying or selling right now, or like, majority not buying or selling, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're renting. That's what they're doing. So that's what I literally specialize in. No human alive does more rental deals than me per year. And I do it because of that. It works in any fucking market, literally any market. Doesn't matter what the market is. I'm in Boca Raton, Florida.
So how much, like, if I did a rental on an average home there tomorrow for a year, how much am I going to make off that deal?
So typically our 3 beds, 2 baths around this area are about $3,000, right? Average, right? So we get half a month's rent, $1,500. I mean, my deals are a little bit over that. My average commission is around $2,000 per deal. Obviously, I'm an Icon agent with the XP, so it's all 100% for me. I get the 16,000 stock, all that great stuff. But yeah, I charge a transaction fee on top of that, $300. You know what I mean? Because listen, the tenant doesn't pay me anything. It's the landlord that's paying me. So I charge a $300 fee when the deal closes, only when the deal closes, because I provide excellent service, better than any other agent around. So they have no problem. I'm gonna get a 99.8% success rate on my transaction fee, and they only pay me when it closes. So that brings my average up a little bit more. You know what I mean? That's how I get to my 2,000 average. And dude, you can do a lot. As a solo agent, I was doing almost 30 deals. I had a couple months when I actually hit 30 deals, but a little bit lower than that typically. But yeah, you could literally do 30 rental deals alone if you put in, the right time and energy, and you have the right strategies and everything, which, I'm kind of, I created the whole system and everything for doing this. I mean, it's taboo to do rentals. Is literally taboo. You're taught as your mentors and your team leaders, your brokers, they say, no, don't touch rentals. Go to buyers, go to sellers. You're going to make 10 times the money, this and that. But that's just not the case. And especially as you're finding out right now, that's not the case right now at all. It's a tough market.
Here in Arizona, we get paid $200 to do a rental. It's
Wait, do you though? Hold on, because I've talked to a bunch of agents in Arizona. I've heard different things. Which
this
part
is
of Arizona are you in?
Phoenix market, like just the regular. It doesn't matter anywhere. Like the highest I've ever seen on rentals $400, and that $400 comes with literally you're showing these people 6, 7, 8 homes.
That's a
Driving
mistake.
all
No, you should
around
only
the
do 1 or
valley.
2 showings. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though, is like there's so many contracts on these. So you can go to a rental tomorrow and there's 10 applications, and now they're collecting these application fees for.
Well, guess what?
Well, I'm just saying, like
Guess
in
what?
general, like
Watch it.
here.
No, listen, I'm gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna blow your mind. So watch this, because it's the same in Florida, right? So I'm gonna blow your mind right now. So what happens if you have 10 offers on a rental property, right? Why would you go show the property? Why are you showing the property? You don't show the property. What you do is you do one application. Okay, we have a standard application. It's just a credit background eviction report, rental application, proof of income, driver's license. I write up a little contract release. Literally, the whole process takes me like 3 minutes to do this. I can fire out offers, like pre-offers basically, to multiple properties because they might have 10 offers on them, and we only go see the property if they actually get like a pre-acceptance. You know what I mean? This way, I only do like 1 or 2 showings per deal. That's it. Or maybe 3, like if I'm, pushing it, because I do that kind of strategy. So it's just convincing the tenant, like, hey, it's a tough market right now. There's lots of offers. This is the best way to do it. You know what I mean? And I have a whole strategy I use to let them know. I mean, it's smart too. Like, think about it. Like, from your perspective, like, you're saving all of your time. They're saving all of their time. Like, why not? And guess what? You only do one application, and it's like $35. That's it. And you just copy and paste it for as many properties as you want, because you just use the standardly accepted application in that area. Like Phoenix, I'm sure, has an application that every agent, or 99% agent, will accept. So you just use that one, and then you can copy it over and over and over again. You don't have to do multiple applications. You don't have to do multiple showings. It takes 3 minutes to put an offer in. The only problem is convincing the tenant to do this. You just have to know what you're doing. But if you can do that, how good does that sound?
Or here, like, it's not reality here. Like, it's not. Like, here, like, we can put it
because of the commission price.
Well, not just that. It's like you're getting paid $200 to try to get them in a home that has, like, these people have specifics. Like, trust me, like, we've seen it all. That's why no one here does rentals. Like, 99% of the agents here do not do rentals, because it is.
But I'm curious. Wait, so if you look in your MLS, right? If you look in your MLS, and because like usually we get a percentage. So you're saying if you look at 100 listings in your MLS, none of them are going to be 50%.
Nope. $200, $250, $300. Like, some of them have a percentage, but you're talking about a percentage of a 12-month lease on a $1,700 rent, and then they give you a small percentage. And by the time, like, I think the biggest one of my agents have ever done on a rental, I think, was $350. Was the biggest
percentage based,
and they showed 7 homes. Like, and that's just an average.
They're doing it the wrong way though.
You can't get the application in unless you pay the fee. So now, like, sometimes if I know, like, if it doesn't make sense if they have 5 applications, I'm now talking my guy and they're paying $50 to turn his in, to maybe not get accepted. So just an average person's not okay with that too. So now you're like going back and wasting your time, because at the end of the day, it's still like, now we're taking lead generation out of something you could be doing that produce bigger income. So that's what a lot of people have the balance of, is, do you want to spend all this time to try to make this amount of money when you could be pouring all that time into showings, into negotiations and all this for $300? Rather put it into the business. But with our agents, the way we shifted, like you just said, shift the rental side sometimes. What I told them to do is, we're trying to shift in these people that they're financeable, but they're not bankable. How many people out there, how many lenders out there are dealing with people that have money in the bank, that can afford homes, but they just cannot afford the rate, or they can't pay 8%. Why can't I go lock up a seller finance home, or go to these seller finance homes that these people need to get out of their home at 4%, and put my buyer into those homes instead? So they have a down payment. Why can't I find them a seller finance home that has that someone has a 3% rate on, and I can push that to a 5, give the owner money up front, get a 5% rate, and now my buyers are buying that home from this person, and they'll refi out of it. Or I-9s, people that pay taxes, but they're on an I-9 and they can't get a loan. Like, it's very hard for I-9s to get a loan here, but I can wrap them up into any of these other homes. So we're going after the people that are saying, I'm waiting, or go to these lenders and say, hey, everyone that you're coming across that wants to wait or has money, but they're a bank statement loan and they don't want to pay 10% interest rates, like, send them to me. Like, they're a bank statement loan. That means they make money and they can afford the monthly payment. So I can put them in homes. But
yeah, I love everything you're saying.
Oh,
Actually, it's all amazing because yeah, like you were saying before, if you're only making $300 a pop and then charging $300, to the tenant, you're only making $600. You know what I mean? So at that point, you could be doing other things. That's only if you can't do other stuff. Obviously, if $600 for 2 hours of work is worth it for other agents that can't do stuff that you're doing, then it's worth it. But for you, yeah, like that doesn't seem like it would make sense because you have other avenues where you can make more than $600 every 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So like I like what you're saying about that. So does that work for the whole getting your buyer to do the creative financing? Like how long have you been doing that for? I'm curious about the actual numbers about this.
So we've only been doing it for like 6 months.
6 months. Okay. What's your numbers? What's your numbers on this?
How many we wrapped up? Like we just closed 3 last month. One of them was in Florida. I don't know the Florida market. I'm not in the Florida market. It was outside of Tampa. I forgot the city was outside of Tampa, but these people had zero equity. They had a solar lease. They had no equity. They've owned the home for a year and they had a 2.8% rate. So if they go list that home tomorrow, they're losing money. They have to pay off a solar lease. They have to pay the agents. They have to pay the closing costs. They have zero equity. They're going now. We bought the home from the seller. We gave him $15,000 in his pocket. We paid off the solar lease and we bought it subject to. So we found a buyer that picked that home up. So that's why we, as agents, we're not looking for a listing a day. We're not looking for 20 contacts a day. We're looking for an opportunity every single day. Like where all of our agents are trained to find an opportunity every single day. And an opportunity is somebody that has a problem that needs solved.
Dude, I always say it all the time. I'm a high level problem solver. If I had a superpower, that would be my superpower. Sounds like that would be your superpower too, is solving problems at the highest level. And that's how, that's how you get successful is solving all of these problems. I love that you say that. So all right, 3 deals last month, month number 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. What are you doing? You're doing like 2 to 3 deals a month off of this?
That was just subject. Those are just subject to. So we have novations as well. So we have about 12 homes in Ohio wrapped up during novations right now. So we have listings here.
I don't know what that is. What is a novation? I don't even know what that is.
So we buy homes cash and we also have a listing company. But now there's these people that the cash offers are too low. They don't want to sell their home for 60 cents on the dollar to a wholesaler or a flipper. They can't list the property unless it's an investor special. They can't list it for the price that they think market value is. But there's this area in the middle between a cash offer and a retail offer called novations, where I can go buy the home, put them under contract, and now I'm going to sell that contract to an open market. So if this is a home that needs work, you don't like my offer? Like, let's say my offer was $60K and they want to list for $100K. This is Ohio. Hey, we can pay you $60K.
Damn, those are cheap prices there. Christ. Yeah. Whoa.
It works here too. It works at any price point because all you're doing is you're creating the equity for them. They're being your bank, and essentially, because if I go buy this home cash, let's just say it's $300,000. I have to get a hard money loan. I have to put money down. I have to pay a monthly cost, and it's going to eat into my renovation costs. It's going to eat into my.
What's hard money at now? Like 10%, 12% right now? Because we're at 8% mortgages. So is that 14 right now? Hard money?
Yeah, when it was good, it was 10. Now it's like 14. Most people. So, but 14 is good because you only own it for 3 months. Like I'll pay 18% if it makes sense.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
When we go with these homes, they're now owning the home still. It's in their name. They're paying the mortgage on it. And with novations, it cuts out all the hard money costs. So it's because they still keep the property in their name. We're just owning the contract. So even if they don't want 60, we could sell it for 100 fixed up, but it needs to get there to sell it for 100. So instead of paying you 60, which is what I need to do to make money as a flipper, I'll pay you 75. I'll pay you 80.
Yes.
Now I can meet them in the middle somewhere, or they're now my hard money costs essentially. And I can purchase a home, pocket them 20,000 more, 15,000 more, whatever it is, and then sell it, fix it up myself and sell it at that price. And when it closes,
so you don't have to bother with a loan. You're not even bothering with the loan.
Yeah. So
that's like a subject to flip. That's like that's called a novation. That's what that is.
Novation. We're basically we have a power of attorney, a limited power of attorney for the house. We don't put in our name, but we have a power of attorney to do the listing contract, to close on the home, because we own the contract to buy it. We just don't own the actual home.
So your name's not on the deed.
No, we just sometimes with lenders we have to put a lien on it sometimes to have them close a novation because it's something new. Not a lot of people are dealing with. But it
Yeah.
allows us to help a homeowner because their option sometimes is just to sell it to a wholesaler. And they don't know that there's these other options that we have. So sometimes if our cash offer doesn't make sense, we're now pitching the novation. Say, hey, we have to pay this for it to make sense to us. If it's too low for you, here's another option we have. We can do this thing called novation where we can fix up your property for you, give you more money because you're essentially our bank now, and then we can go sell at that price where you can pocket more. It like cash offers work more for me as an investor. A retail offer works
Yeah.
more for the seller as they're going to pocket the most money. A novation's a
Oh,
way
yeah.
where you can try to make it as win-win as possible.
So you're meeting in the middle there.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's cause yeah, it's that's an interesting strategy. That yeah, honestly, that was,
But we're
was
not
the first
licensed.
time.
We're investors.
Y-
We're not licensed there. We're only licensed in Arizona. So when we do these novations, I'm hiring agents out there to sell the home for us. And
Wait,
we
why didn't you
want
get licensed out there? Did they have reciprocation or whatever it's called?
you don't want to list your own homes in a novation. It's super like
No.
it's no, because you can't really do the best service for somebody if um you have equitable interest, and it's hard to sell a home when you have equitable interest in the property. We're not
Contract conflict of interest.
we don't do novations here, so it's too gray area for us to do it here. And if I ever did it here, I would have somebody else list the property too.
Wow. What did you pay the full,
We
six
pay
percent, 5%?
50%.
What did you pay the full?
We,
Yeah,
we
full
want the
commission
neighborhood
on that too.
specialists. Yeah, we want the people we don't just use one agent out there. We'll use the neighborhood specialist who sells the most homes in this community because we need this home sold. We need to list it at the right price. We know the market. We need to list it underneath all the comps. We need a bulldog agent that's gonna get this thing sold for us. So we're more than willing to pay the whole. We don't want to like cheap off on agents. You pay for the service you get, you know.
You always you do, yeah. And I mean, just saying that too. I actually want to I want to tell you my open house strategy and see what you think of it. See if you've ever done this before, actually. So I think this might be something you might like if you don't have the expert in that specific neighborhood. What I usually do is I'll take I'll get a listing, whatever, and I'll convince the seller, hey, seller, this is the market price. Let's say it's $500,000. We got to go in under market value. Maybe let's say they want to get 500. That's what it's worth. Let's go in at 480, maybe 470, something like that. What we're going to do is we're going to hold an open house on Saturday. We're going to list the property on Wednesday, allow no showings whatsoever. So you could only see it on that Saturday at 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then all of a sudden, we'll have 40, 50, 60 people show up. There'll be a line out the door. Why? Because it's a cheap price, under market value, and nobody saw it beforehand. This way, there's going to be a flood of buyers, sometimes with their agents too, that are seeing the property. And then afterwards, they're going to put in over asking price offers because they know it's a cheap price and they saw all of those people there. So they know there's actually real competition. And then that's how I get either at, 500,000, I'll get the asking or like the full market price, or I'll get even over that because it will create a bidding war. Have you ever done that before? Thought of that before?
So we list them on Thursdays. We go coming soon. And only like 20% of homes here go coming soon, which is stupid in my eyes. I'm like, this is a chance for you to get 0 days on market and pre-market up to 30 days. You can pre-market this thing.
Yeah.
So we do coming soon at least 5 days because we want it to hit everyone's email and see how many saves it has. Because then you can see price wise how many people are saving and interested in it. We go live on Thursdays. Here, that's the best day to go live, but we don't let anyone in the house on Thursday. We do open houses on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because if we show it on Thursday and they write an offer, it's going to have a 24-hour response time. If we open it live on a Thursday, don't show it up Friday, we already have an MLS. We will be looking at offers Sunday night. So that allows us to create the offers to create leverage. And we tell everyone we need a way that we can create the leverage. If you want to overprice your home, you're not giving me anywhere that I can create leverage. And what leverage does is what drives the price up, what gets it as is, what makes it so it can close easier with easier buyers is saying, hey, I got 5 offers. Like, here's what I have the best at. Like, I need to work with the easiest, most realistic people. I want to get this thing closed. What is it going to do? I have a fiduciary in my seller. So I'm now actively finding the best agent and the best client for this person that I can leverage up. And I can't do that when you want to over the price of home, 20 grand overpriced.
No,
so we do try to list
like
it.
you said. Yeah, because you have a fiduciary duty to your seller to get them the highest price possible for them. So we basically do the same strategy. A couple little minor differences, but yeah, we have the same ideas, and it works really well, right?
I hear this thing on open houses all the time. It's for agents, not for sellers, and that's the thing is everyone's like,
No,
Open houses for agents to
no,
get leads, not for sellers. I'm like,
no,
that's
no
not the
way.
thing. Like they think it's just
No,
for agents. I'm like, in
no
reality,
way.
like I told you that stat earlier, 5% do 90% of the business here, 95% of the business
Yeah.
here. We have a lot of part-time agents. We have a lot of agents that don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of agents that don't take this seriously, and it's more of a, my mom made 100 grand, so I can make 100 grand. So we have to talk to their buyers. Like we have to go in there and say, the agents, how many agents look at the MLS and they just let their buyers walk through? We're showing them the possibilities, the neighborhood. Here's what's in the neighborhood. Here's the equity in this area. Here's this home. Here's what it has more than these other homes that listed and sold. As well as we have signs that say, ask me how to buy this home cash. Ask me how to buy this home at a 5% interest rate. So if you're in a market where 8% interest rates, how many buyers are coming in there thinking that's their only rate? And now you can say, ask me how to buy this home for 5%. Like, oh, buyers are like, whoa, I didn't know we can get a 5% interest rate. How do we do that? Well, I mean, we can get concessions, we get you a buy down, but you're now pitching them the buy down. You're saying this home has the ability to get a buy down. We can price this in a way that we can still appraise as well as give out concessions to help these buyers.
If there's no offers, if there's not like a competitive, if there's not like 10 people putting offers in. So on a house that's sitting, like you're talking days on market.
Yeah, but we're mostly like that message is pushing for most of the people that come in there without agents. And even if this home doesn't work, cool. Guess what? There's 20 down the street that I can get you concessions on them and sit in the market for 30 days. So they don't know. Yeah. It's like we as agents, we think too much like agents and we assume the average consumer knows everything we know. And that's not the case. Like you have to paint the picture. For somebody to, it's like when I walk into a clothing store, a Zoomies or something, and I'm getting a shirt, I'm getting pants. I don't know where the pants are. Like, where is this style pant? Whenever someone comes up to me, it's always, how can I help you? I'm good. Like, oh, what are you looking for? I'm just looking. And that's the average person. Like they don't want to be bothered. They just want to go on their day with doing the same thing with people in open house. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Like, oh, sign in. I'm good. How many people react that way? Like they're just looking at open house. So you have to create things to entice conversation and saying, oh, how do I get this at 5%? Oh, you didn't know that? Like, oh, we're not working with an agent. Cool. And then you can tell them the possibilities of actually buying a home. But it comes with the conversation. So when a seller says, what do you do different? I'm like, look, at the end of the day, we all can get on the MLS. We all get on Realtor.com, Zillow.com. We take pictures. We put on
nothing special there.
But a lot of people stop right there. And what we do different is we try to create as much conversation as we can because we need to figure out not only the problem, but the buyers. Like, what is the buyer situation? Because you're like, oh, this home's too much for them. Why is it too much for them? You have to ask those questions because the average agent, the average consumer don't know that there's other possibilities. So what we do with these open houses, what we do with circle prospecting, reverse prospecting, is we're trying to create as many conversations as we can to get the reality of the situation. Like, what do the buyers need? What are the buyers seeing? Feedback's very important. But that's why I think we separate ourselves out from other agents, is because we're actively searching for conversations, not just listing a home and hoping they pick up the phone. Or, oh, I'll do an open house. Here's my 40-page marketing plan. In reality, I don't give a fuck what people say in their marketing pitches. They are putting it on Facebook and they're putting it on the MLS and they're getting pictures done. Like that is what 90% of the industry is doing. I don't care what marketing book they gave you that said they do this, 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 and this. Like at the end of the day, that's what this is. And
people are looking at Zillow. Yeah, so what do you think? They're looking at Zillow. What are you gonna do different? You know,
my last appointment, the seller, I love objections. Like give me all the objections you can and watch me overcome them. One of them was like, oh, do you have any horse property buyers in the West Side? I'm like, well, like not like off the top of my head on my phone. No, I don't. Well, the last people that said they list my home said they have a flurry of horse property only buyers. I was like, well, then I said, why aren't they selling your home off market then? Why do they want to list on the MLS? If they had all these buyers in the back pocket, why not do an off market deal? Why not? Why not a pocket listing? Pictures, the showings, all this shit. And why are you sitting on the market for 10 days? Because watch, you're going to be sitting on the market for 10 days with these people that said, I have a flurry of West Side horse market property buyers. I'm like,
because they're telling them what they want to hear.
It's just a pitch. It's like if they had it, because if I had a horse market property, I can figure out a way where I can make it work for both of you people and not have to charge you 6%. I will rep both of you guys.
And you would get both sides. Yeah, you would get both sides. That's
in reality, that's how I beat these people out of the listing anyway. If I had a horse market property, I don't need to worry about competition anymore. Here's my buyer. Let me represent both sides. I won't take the commission. You guys have to be
okay. Go down to 4%.
Yeah. So like I just tell people all the time, it's just a pitch. Like some people, yeah, 100%. Some people do have that in their back pocket, but
But if they do,
like
then they'll actually do it. They'll
I said,
actually
but
get
you
this
have
sold fast
three
without.
agents telling
Yeah.
you the same thing. Why do you have three agents telling you they have horse market property buyers? Or we're neighborhood specialists. I said neighborhood specialists, they probably just farm the west side. That's all. They probably
Yeah.
farm, they hyper farm these communities. I said, but that doesn't mean they're going to get more eyes on their property than I will.
Yeah. So it just sounds like, you're just getting super creative, which is what I love. Like to me, it sounds like you're a marketing genius because that's what you're doing. Like you're really marketing at a very, very, very high level. And the cool part is you had no experience with this. So you've been learning as you've been going. So like for all new agents out there, like I feel like you're such a good example of what a new agent should be. And it's just being creative and thinking outside the box and not doing the
Yeah.
standard old nonsense that everybody's doing. You're doing something different and unique. And I'm sure you're probably working a good amount, right? Like just real quick, like how hard have you been working the past few years?
Like 60, 70 hours a week. This more than I worked at the job that tore me down. But I
You're
love what I
you're
do.
probably working 12 hours a day.
But it's not work. This is a hobby. Like I love what I
Yes.
do. I love my team. I love my office. I love real estate. I don't ever go to bed like, oh, I go to work tomorrow. I don't ever wake up
Yeah.
ready to go to the office. I wake up and I'm like, damn, I have to hurry up and brush my teeth because I gotta get to the office fast. Like it's
You,
something I
you
want to
wake
do.
up with a big smile on your face. You're like, I fucking love my life.
Yeah.
Let me get to work.
I work
What's
more
the
and
saying?
have more stress, but somehow I'm more happy. It's crazy how it works
Yeah,
out.
dude, I literally exact same way I work. I literally work when I'm awake. I'm working when I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. That's the way I do it. So for me, I'm working 16 hours. But it's exactly what you said. When you do something you love, you've never worked a day in your life, right? Is that like the saying? I think what it is. It's
Have
something
you heard
like
that?
that. Uh,
I heard this saying for real estate, and I freaking love it. It's like real estate's one of those careers where you work all week hoping to work all weekend. Like it's like, oh my gosh, it's
yes.
so true. Like we do work all week hoping to work all weekend. Like
You want to be
it's
busy. That's what that means is you want to be
yeah.
constantly busy, always having something to do. Like there should never be a point, for any realtor out there that's trying to make it right now, over a couple $100,000 a year. There should never be a point in your day or weekend or night that you don't have something to do. Like if you don't have something to do, you're doing something wrong, fix it, change it, try something new. You know what I mean?
That's
And a lot of it is lead generation. A lot of people stop doing lead gen. It was the craziest thing. Like I talked to an agent the other day and they were like, yeah, I always get, like 10 buyers that I'm working with at the beginning of the month. I work with them. And then maybe like 2 months later, close all my deals and everything. And then I go back to lead gen again. And I said, well, how much money did you make last year? They said, oh, $70,000. I said, well, why do you think you only made 70K? You just took 2 months off of lead gen. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're not going to grow that way. And they were like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. You're 100% correct. Like a lot of people they're just not doing it the right way. If you want to make a lot of money, you could be doing the same amount of like dollar producing activities, but if you're not being efficient about it, being smart. And that's another thing too. I hate when people say work smart, not hard. I think that's baloney. You got to do both. You got to work smart and you got to work hard. That's like the end of the story, So yeah, I'm getting a little fired up here. It's
well,
just,
that's why there's an 85% fail rate. Like real estate is really one of the only careers in the world where you can make six figures your first year. Like the only other jobs where you can make the money you make in real estate, because there's real estate agents I know that make $1 million a year, 500, 800,000. The only other jobs you can make that kind of money is a surgeon, a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, a CEO. But that all comes with a lot of time, a lot of money.
tons.
You spend all your
What's a
20s
doctor? 10 years
in
of school?
school. You got 300 grand in student loan debt. You just got rid of all your 20s doing residencies, and now you're finally a doctor and you finally make this money, but they forget about the 10 years of shit they went through. And same with a lawyer.
And their overhead too. Their overhead.
Yeah, in real estate, you could literally join and make that kind of money your first 2-3 years. And people
and your overhead is so small.
yeah, and they're not willing to put the same work in that doctor did for 10 years. Like that 10 years of work, you get to bypass. And all you got to do is do that same effort today. That's it. As soon as you start. And they want to make CEO money, but they want to act like secretaries. And that's what the industry
doesn't make
is.
sense to me. Yeah, it
The
doesn't make
people
sense
that
to
are
me.
succeeding and making that kind of money are the ones that are grinding out every single day to get there. And that's the misconception of this real estate industry is like everyone can do it. No, I'm sorry. Everyone can get licensed 100%. Everyone can get licensed. It's very easy unless you have a felony or whatever. But not everyone can do business. And the barrier of entry for what we do is just so low. Like we, as a community, should be glad that only the best survive.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I just love what you're saying about grinding because people do have a common misconception like, oh, I don't have to work that hard. You know what I mean? I'm not going to slave away for the business. Well, guess what? First of all, it's not forever. You know what I mean? Like it's only the first few years, maybe
Yeah, do
the
it so you
first
don't have to
2 to
use it.
5 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're sacrificing now so you can enjoy yourself later. So you never have to do it again because that's what you're doing right now. You got a team, and your team is doing a lot of your work. And I guarantee you, your team right now is in a better place than they were before they met you.
I got new agents on my team that are getting listings in the first 2 weeks. It's because our
That's because
scripts
they
are
have you.
completely different. Yeah, and our
Yeah,
script,
it's you. They have you.
we're teaching
You know
them
what I
just
mean? Like,
problems and have conversation. Like you can't
yeah,
get these things sold without conversation. And I love when
I
an
know.
agent is cold calling all day and they get pissed because they're like, I spent 10 minutes on this phone with this seller. He told me he got hit up by 20 agents and he hung up on me. I'm like, okay, well, here's your first clue. He got called by 20 agents and he spent 10 minutes on the phone with you. That means you piqued his interest. You got him to wonder. He does not have a clear defined path for the future. That's it. He is a canceled expired listing. That means he raised his hand to sell his house at one point and it didn't sell. So it's canceled or expired. He spent 10 minutes on the phone with you. He doesn't know you. He doesn't love you. He doesn't trust you. You have to get that through your head. Until
He
you
wanted help. Yeah, but he
until
did.
you find the problem and help him solve it, or you help paint the path to the clear defined future for him, you won't get his business. But the fact
Yeah,
that
they
if me telemarketer that calls me and I already know the spiel or I don't want to talk to him, I hang up. I don't spend 10 minutes on the phone with him. So
no
I love
way.
doing that
No
stuff.
way.
Yeah.
They just didn't close. They didn't know how to close him.
Yeah.
They opened really good, from the example you gave, but they couldn't close. And I think that's what, you're really good at. It sounds like is closing the deal.
We
Because
get
you
that
find
surface
the
level.
problem, you
Yeah.
find the pain, and then you bring the solution.
Yeah. And now the
Dude,
sellers, like you have to overcome their objections because the moment you let them be right, they're right. The moment they say, oh, well, you're too young to get my business. I had an agent on my team who lost a listing because of his age. And he's like, well, the other guy he's been in the business for 30 years. And he's an older guy and he felt more comfortable. I was like, okay, but you didn't push back on him. You made him right. And what I would do is I would say there's a difference between experience and tenure. Tenure doesn't mean you have more experience than me. If I can close 100 transactions a year, but this guy closed 130 years, where's the hang up? Like I have more transactional experience. I have more social media experience. I have more marketing experience. Just because you have 10 years or 30 years of tenure in the industry doesn't mean you have the experience over me. So I said,
I
but the moment you
love that.
let him be right, he's right.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Like, same thing. I've closed what 650 deals in 3.5 years. So I have more experience than an agent that has done this probably for 150 years, and I've only been doing it for 3.5 years. So I
What if,
love what you just said because that inspires new agents.
what if I told you I'm so good at marketing that I can come into your market tomorrow and I'll sell 10 times more rentals than you ever will sell? What if I told you that right
I
now?
would, lo- I would love to learn from you to how to do that.
But you'd probably like, this guy's a joke. You're not selling more than me. Like your
No,
ability to
no,
sell, your confidence.
no.
So
I would learn from you. Me personally, I would be like, well, fuck. If you could do it, then show me. Let me do it. I'll do it too.
well, I like to have the mindset of like, I want my people when I'm on a phone with somebody say, I know I'm the best person for you. I know I care more than anyone else. I know I have more options than anyone else. I know I'm actually going to get everything I can to get this house sold. So I want them to go in these houses and know if someone doesn't want to use me and I don't get this listing, it's their loss, not my loss. And you have to know
Yeah.
like your value in order to have that kind of confidence because people want professionals. Like if I go in these listing appointments stuttering and dropping my commission, that does worse for me. Like I'm not going to train my
That's
agents to
bad.
drop
That's a
commission.
red
I'm going to
flag.
train my agents
Yeah.
to overcome the objection of dropping commission.
Dude, you can't be afraid to lose a deal. That's what I've learned. You know what I mean? You have so much business coming in that it doesn't even matter. Like you said, you're doing them a favor because you have
Yeah.
so much going on right now. You could afford to lose 10 deals. It doesn't matter because you'll replace them with 30 or 40. So I love how you're saying that right now because you got to go in with the mindset of that if I lose this deal, it's no sweat whatsoever. I'm going to get another 10 tomorrow. You know what I mean?
My
I
listing
really like that.
my listing presentation changed when I went into a listing where I automatically thought I was out. They called me off a billboard. They were interviewing 7 agents. I was the last one. I walk into this place and it was like a lily white family, white picket fence neighborhood, husband and wife, 3 kids. I walk in and the dad's there from Utah and he has New Balances on, these khakis. And I'm just like, I have tattoos on my face, ripped jeans and a hat on. like, I am not getting this listing. Like, they are probably looking at me like, this guy doesn't have a suit on. He does not this. But that automatically put in a mindset where I was like, dude, I'm not getting this thing anyway. I was super
Nothing to
direct.
lose.
I was the professional. They asked me to drop my commission. I said, no, I don't do that. And they're like, well, we have a guy at 3.5%. You're at 6. And I said, yeah, because I work for a 6. I said, if someone's willing to drop their commission with you at a kitchen table, I said, what do you think is going to happen when I make an offer on this home? I said, I'm going to eat that dude alive. And I'm going to cost you more money. Like, if you can't negotiate your value, then how are you going to negotiate to me? Because I'm a bulldog. I'll rip through you. And them telling that, and then they're like, I'm like, you probably listen to a bunch of listing agents. I sell homes, and here's the difference of listing a home versus selling a home. And then at the end of the day, they were like, well, what's your marketing different? I said, they're like asked about the commission. And I said, well, how did you find me? And they said, from your billboard. I said, okay, so through some kind of marketing. And she goes, yes. I said, how do you think I'm gonna sell your home? And that was it. Ooh. And sometimes it's better to shut up and let them talk. Sometimes you have to see value in yourself, come up with a statement, and you shut up. Don't say a word and let them respond. Because
did you get the listing?
Yes, dude. 10 minutes. I left the home. Didn't think they'd call me. I really didn't think I was going to get it. 10 minutes later, I called and got the listing. And that showed me so much of it. I used to go in there and kiss ass, and I'd be afraid. And I remember telling my team, even my second year in the industry where I had business, I remember saying I had a listing appointment today, and I would get butterflies. Like, oh, I hope I get it. I don't know who they're interviewing. I wonder what other people are saying. And I was super nervous all the time. And like, I knew my value. I knew I could do what I was trained by very good people. I had the top people in the industry training me. But I was still afraid. And once I got in there and realized, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm the professional. Like, they're not the professional. They're hiring somebody that they need a bulldog and a professional. And I'm not acting like it. I'm acting like I'm a scared little kid that just went, oh, please. And we get rid of that mentality now. We're not in this. We don't go to listing agents. Or we're not going to these listings as a please pick me agent. We are saying, if you don't use me, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I love that mentality. And, it's not for every brand new agent just starting off, you know what I mean? You got to get a little bit of credibility, kiss ass a little bit in the very, very beginning, but once you close a few deals, you can get that same exact mindset, once you get a little experience under your belt. So talking about you being a bulldog and professional, just really quick, what we were talking about before, I don't know if you have my Instagram pulled up. I would be curious because you are, really good at social media. You're incredible at social media. So maybe which video would I have you dissect? I'm starting to get a little more unique on some of my videos, like just getting there, So if I pull up maybe my 5th video, it says in 5 easy steps on my in 5 easy steps. So I'll say on my reel, it's like my 3rd reel or like 5th video. Well, watch that one really quick. What do you think? Like,
you say this is in 5 easy steps here. So I always start out with a power statement. Like, that's how like even the latest one you put about Remax. Like, what was that video talking about? Like, what was the big
lawsuit? The lawsuit. That $50 million lawsuit.
I would start off by saying, like, check out this lawsuit. Someone's losing money, and that's going to get, oh, who's losing money? Check out what happened to Remax and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the point of the video first. Like, and YouTube is synonymous for this. Like, too many people, if you get drowned in YouTube algorithm, they cut it, period. Like, they're like, I'm done. How many videos have you seen that have like 3 views and another video has 1,000? It's because they're like, I'm shooting it to these people. If they're not watching, we're done. We're a company. We need advertisers, right? So when you start that same video off with what is the point of this video? If it's 10 minutes long, what is the biggest fucking punch in the mouth of the video? You got to tell them that at the very beginning. And then figure out a way to keep them on there till they get there, right? You have to make it exciting. So like these videos, sometimes if I make a 1.5-minute video and I'm like, okay, the video is 1.5 minutes and I still tear it apart. And this is my own video. I'm like, they might drop off here. I need something, right? It doesn't work all the time. Like, I'm not a freaking expert. Like, I do have videos that get low views. But I just try to get the hook or the purpose of the video in the very beginning. That's the only difference I would make in anybody's video is figure out a way to get them on for at least 10 seconds. Like, you need them to stay through 10 seconds. And if it's 1.5 minutes and you can edit it to 1:10, do it, because the more they stay on the video, the more it'll get pushed out. So like that,
higher retention.
Or the five.
So So yeah, I'm just curious then of the 5-step one, because that got, like, for me, I got a decent amount of views on that. That was 2,900, about 3,000 views. So for me, that's like a decent amount. But I
Mhm.
know I could have gotten 10,000 or 20,000, and I know I'm missing something there. What is that something, like, if you actually look at that really quick? What was that something that was, instead of 3, I should have gotten 10 or 20, that you would have gotten 10 or 20 from that exact same video? What did I miss?
Doing 5 steps. You can break that same video down into 2 different videos. Here's my top 3 tips, or here's the top 2 things I would do. Can that 5-step thing be 2? Because the longer the video is, like, you have to figure out a way to make them on that video that long time. But if you can break this same video into a 30-second video, well, here's my top tip for this, or here's one of the best ways to do this. So here's the top 5 ways to sell a home. Here's one of the best ways to sell a home. Now you make that same video 5 times and keep it 20 seconds. So because posting content every single day is still good too. But
Yeah,
I'm no expert. That's the point. Is like, I'm not an expert,
you're
but I
great.
know
No,
that
you're great.
some different ways that work. But there's too many people saying this is the way you have to do it, because
Yeah,
overall,
yeah.
this video is a good video. Like, you're on the camera,
Oh,
it's very colorful, people are watching it, and let's just say this had 1,000 views. 1,000 people watched it for a reason. Even if you got 2,900 views and it says 80% of your audience dropped off after 45 seconds, fine. It's real estate. At the end of the day, it's still real estate. 20% of the people stayed on for the entire video. So there are 20 people that really wanted the information you were giving. So anyone that liked or commented on that video, that's the only difference thing I would do, is anyone who liked and commented on it, just send them an outside message and saying, hey, thanks for engaging with my posts. I'm trying to do this in the industry, and I really appreciate that. Now that's
an
prospecting.
outside DM?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I don't even, yeah, I didn't even
that's
do
what
that.
prospecting is. So now if you get, let's say that video has 46 likes, go to your likes, see the 46 people. If it's your
I see
mom and
him. Yeah, I see
sister
him right here. Yeah,
or agents in your
I see
office,
it.
you don't need to send them,
Yeah.
like the people you talk to every day, like that, engage with you, like, you don't have to, but the ones that are the one-offs, send them a message outside. And now that's prospecting.
Oh, so because I'm looking at mine right here, it says my average watch time is 2 seconds. That seems awful.
But people look at that as a loss. Now you're going to become oh shit, this video sucks, no one's watching it. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's a real estate related post. Not everyone's in the industry. And even me, like, let's say you made a video about earnest money. Like, I love you, bro, but I'm not watching it, right? Because it's like, I know all
Yeah,
about it. It's hard to sit on your phone forever watching everyone's stuff. So if I already know
that's
about it,
true.
I'm skipping. But if you even have 5 people that watch that video, 5 people are now getting information they didn't have before you from you. So those are the people. That's why you want to hit these people outside with a message or a like, or go to their page and start engaging with their stuff. Because if you're using social media as prospecting, then prospect. And people are
Yeah,
using social media to go viral. They're not using it to prospect. So it is a
yeah.
tool where you cannot come up with a KPI behind it, but you can also do it purposefully.
It's a different
So
mentality, I think, is what you're
yeah,
saying. And I think, from hearing what you're saying before, what I should have done probably is changed up the scenery, or like done something different. Like imagine, I was like riding a horse or something while I was saying that. Like, I think, right? Would that have helped?
what was the purpose of the video though? Like, asking you.
It's just, well, because more of my videos are more for agents. I'm honestly not lead generating at all for any kind of, like, I get enough leads as it is right now doing, my other rental strategy. So I don't need leads right now, but I'm trying to just, share with agents and teach agents, like, all right, guys, there's another way of real estate right now. You could do these rentals, and a lot of states, have the half a month's rent commission, like your state doesn't, but a lot of them do. So, just kind of reach out to agents and just kind of inform them and stuff. So that's kind of like the purpose, was like, hey guys, I was making a satire video. Like, here's 5 ways to fail,
Yeah.
like this is like the reverse of what you should be doing to succeed, that kind of thing.
So was your reason for making it wasn't to go viral. It wasn't to get
No,
views. It wasn't to get likes. It was to, like,
no.
help agents. It does that.
Yeah.
Like, the purpose of
No.
your video was correct. So that's what a lot of people are missing. They're just trying to be the Ryan Serhants. They're trying to make real estate viral. It's not viral. Can it go viral? 100%. Like, you can make videos that go viral. Steven Diaz, the rapping realtor, was just staying at my house all weekend. Like, some of his videos went super viral. But
See,
it's like,
wait,
it's
so
made for that.
but you get a lot of views, don't you? Like, I thought I thought I looked and you had
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, they
20,
get
30
views.
views.
I try to keep it interesting, but the ones that don't get views, like, I try not to get super hard on myself, because I'm like, at the end of the day, that was it's just a real estate related video.
Yeah, I'm looking, and like your last one was 15K, like another one you're talking 7K, 13K. Like you're getting a great. I'm gonna watch more of your channel, and I'm gonna you know what, I'm gonna try to follow in your footsteps here,
But it's
and
not
and
it's
and
not
watch.
right now.
Let me see if it works.
It's not like right now gratification. So that 15,000 views, what did it do for my lifestyle or my business? Nothing at all.
Nothing, did nothing.
Like, it did nothing for my lifestyle, my business. It didn't get me a deal. Can it get me a deal later on? Sure. Did it get me like 4 followers, 5 followers, 6 followers? Yeah. Now they're engaged in my other content. Now they're seeing me. So the purpose is just like to have it and be consistent with it and stay top of mind. That is my goal with that video.
Yeah.
So I don't care
Okay.
if it got
Okay.
15,000 views or 5. I do care because I just want to know how do I get them to stay on it longer. But in reality, it's just me staying top of mind. If I don't post, then I will not stay top of mind to these people. And I say that not because I'm an expert in social media. I say that because I have a friend who's known me for almost 20 years. She knows me. She knows my family. She knows my business. She knows I'm in real estate. She loves me as a friend. She always engages my post. Her mom went to sell a home. She went to her mom's house, and her mom's like, "Oh, I got an open door and offer pad offer for the house." Her first thing she said to her mom wasn't, "Justin's an agent. He buys houses cash every single day." Her first thing was, "Mom, why are you selling the house? What happened? I grew up in this house." They have their own problems. Like, they have their own life, their own problems. Their first thought is never going to be a real estate agent. Their first thought is my mom, me, my life, money, this, that. The next day, I posted a post saying, I'll buy your home cash. She responded to it like, "Oh my gosh, I just talked to my mom. She's selling the offer pad." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, give me her number. Let me see if I can beat their cash offer." Went, did the listing presentation, said, "Hey, I can give you this much cash or I can list it." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to list it because I want people in my house." I'm like, "Well, what if I told you listing it's going to pocket you 50K more?" And she's like, I mean, I love 50K more." I said, "Cool, give me 2 weeks. If I don't sell this thing in 2 weeks, I'll buy it cash. I'll still promise
Yeah.
you this cash. But let me try to get you more money." She did.
Yeah.
She ended up getting $67,000 more than my cash offer. And that's
Jeez.
after she paid the commissions. She still pocketed that much more. And my friend who known me for 20 years and loves me, knows my business and all that, did not tell her mom that I bought cash in that moment. So all these people that are using real estate to get all these leads, you got to keep in mind that the consistency is what matters, because I didn't get that
Yes.
deal till the next day. And it was from something I
Yes.
posted that day in my story. So too many agents think that they can just, everyone thinks about them all the time, and everyone's got their own life, their own problems, and you have to be hyper consistent if you want the business.
Dude, I love that. And that was such good advice for, newer struggling agents. Actually, I got to run right now. I could
Well,
literally chat for you for hours. I could literally chat for you hours because, everything you're saying
once you get
is
this going
awesome.
up,
I really
we can
love
do
it.
this again. So
Yeah. We'll definitely do a part 2 for this. So, Justin, where could everybody find you?
Call Tattoo on Instagram, CALL Tattoo on Instagram. I just started YouTube. It's the same thing, Call Tattoo, or Successful Misfits, that business too, on YouTube.
Well, fantastic. I'm going to drop it in the description. So guys, definitely follow Justin. He is awesome. He's an inspiration. He did something so unique and different. And it's just a message for everybody out there that you can also do something unique and different. Just find your own way. That's basically the whole goal of doing real estate at a high level, is just getting creative and thinking outside the box, just like Justin did, just like I did. And you guys can do it too. So everybody hit the like button, drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought about the podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, because like 75% of you are not subscribed. So click that subscribe button, and I'm going to be seeing you guys in the next one. All right. That was pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.